What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, to be perfectly clear, as soon as they announced Hugh Jackman's Wolverine was coming back for Deadpool 3, it already earmarked this as one of the most anticipated films coming up in the next 2 or 3 years, and considering that features 2 Avengers films and a Fantastic Four film, that's saying quite a lot. However, since that announcement, this film has grown in size and scope. Confirmations from actors from the original 2 Deadpool movies saying that they would return, like Colossus, and today, confirmation officially from the man himself, Professor X, Patrick Stewart, talking about being on standby for the film. We're going to break down the latest as it applies to Deadpool and the X-Men, also talk about some of the really fun rumors that have been out there about this film as well, sort of separate fact from fiction and what it all means for the upcoming 3rd installment of the Deadpool franchise. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway, which we are a week away. It'll be next Thursday to coincide with the drop of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantummania. All you gotta do, be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so surely some of you have seen the buzz on social media or here on YouTube already, and it has not been incorrect. This all came from an article earlier this afternoon from comicbook.com under the headline, Patrick Stewart has been told to stand by with Hugh Jackman's Deadpool 3 return exclusive. They go on to write, quote, "Given that Deadpool 3 is deep in pre-production, some think the multiversal movie could bring back additional characters once again. Comicbook.com's Jamie Lovett recently caught up with Stewart in support of Star Trek Picard and asked if the actor is returning for one more go-around. Patrick Stewart replied, quote, "I've been told to stand by. I know nothing more than that. Honest." Now, in case I have to state the obvious, Marvel Studios wouldn't tell him to stand by unless there was something there, and as they mentioned during that article, pre-production is where they're at right now, so they're still working this all out, finishing rewrites to the script. That's why they told him to stand by. There's at least something there and some interest in bringing him back. That opens the door to multiple other X-Men. We already have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and as I mentioned briefly during the prologue, the actor that plays Colossus, among others, has already confirmed that he's coming back for this film as well. It basically sets up a huge X-Men film. But the other rumors that have accompanied this new and breaking knowledge today are what make this really interesting. The first one has broken all over the internet, but is strictly in rumor mill territory, so please leave it there, that by the time we get to Deadpool 3, this is when the multiverse is finally going to be breaking, and in a way that is impacting every franchise. Something like what we talked about in an earlier video last week about it being Battleworld, about how when you get to a breaking of the multiverse, eventually all the franchises have to reflect that. You can't just do an insular project and say it wasn't impacted by a multiverse that's causing incursions and everything else. So we're hearing by the time Deadpool 3 starts, this is when the multiverse is really going to be breaking loose and is going to cause Deadpool and presumably the rest of these X-Men, whoever should survive, to finally enter the MCU. One other thing I will say, and this is purely speculation, I sure hope I do not get requoted as fact, and I'm going to make it very clear that I'm just speculating. There were some early rumors that Deadpool kills the Fox universe could be something they were interested in doing, and I would actually love to see that. But considering the details we know already, the involvement of the TVA, the earliest reports that there may be a female villain that has something to do with the multiverse, I think it's more likely that this is going to be an X-Men team-up of some kind. Say it now with me, an X-Men movie during the multiverse saga, just not the reboot in the MCU, but rather the characters from the Deadpool universe. Now, why I think this all makes sense, and depending on where they draw from, is we all obviously want to see Wolverine in a classic X-Men costume, and if they're bringing back an X-Men team of some sort, that may lead directly how we get him in the yellow and blue. But on a macro level, you have to imagine if there's truly incursions in the multiverses breaking, it wouldn't just be Deadpool and Wolverine who would be involved from whichever universe they come from. The rest of the X-Men would presumably be involved as well. I don't think that necessarily means they're going to survive and continue into our continuity, but that's also the on-ramp for bringing these characters on to bring them back for Secret Wars, which is the second rumor that I want to touch on. And during the prologue, I mentioned we would sort of separate fact from fiction. This is definitely wading into fiction. I don't normally outright call a rumor false. I just won't cover it at all. But this is something I've seen in the last 2 days, and I'm hoping doesn't sort of get conflated with these other reports that are true. It's being rumored that not only is Ian McKellen returning to the MCU in future projects, presumably one of these films would be it, but that he's already shot scenes as Magneto for some Marvel Studios property. Guys, I just don't believe this, and like I said, normally at the channel, I just wouldn't cover this at all, but since we're getting all this news about the Fox X-Men characters and coming back from Wolverine, I at least want to touch on this and just make the logical point that they're not far enough from pre-production. They haven't worked on costuming. They haven't even designed the sets. Unless Ian McKellen's Magneto is shooting for a separate Marvel property that has somehow already shot or is in pre-production. But if you look at the short list of those, it wouldn't make sense for any of these properties. And I know sometimes how this works, all the rumors get swept into one, or you open up an Instagram account and everything's a headline. I just don't think that this is involved. Now, may he come back alongside the X-Men in that Deadpool film? Sure, but there's certainly no way that he's already shot for it, as this rumor is saying, and besides. And I think you just don't need to bring them all back for the sake of it. There were rumors they would look to bring back Ian McKellen and a lot of these X-Men, basically everyone, for Secret Wars. And I guess really that's the only way I could see this happening. If it's sort of an on-ramp or a long look towards that, this is the way to get them at least set up in the universe for when they can all feature during that final film. Now, I am going to play devil's advocate for just a second and feature a quote that Kevin Feige had about the third Deadpool film and before the Hugh Jackman announcement, when he said that they were looking to figure out how they could take this third installment and elevate it to the level of other trilogy third installments, and he referenced Captain America Civil War, where you had two Captain America films, and then basically what was an Avengers film. It looks like, at least from that perspective, that they've taken Deadpool now and are sort of shaping it up to be an X-Men film. So in lieu of us not having a new X-Men in the MCU before Secret Wars, this is how we get an X-Men team for Secret Wars in our continuity. I'm for it. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s this year at the channel, but instead of doing it at major subscribers milestones, we're going to do it to release with every Marvel movie instead. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantummania is coming out next Thursday. That's when we'll give the next one away. All you have to do to be entered to win, and it's super simple. It also goes for any of the other giveaways here at the channel throughout the year and in the future. Be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, and never in the comments. So should you get a comment with someone using my picture claiming that you've won, please just report them. And that same goes across YouTube. Anybody can use anybody's picture. Anybody can tell you to contact you on a third-party app and then say, hey, you've won, pay for shipping. YouTubers don't do that. I don't do that. Nobody does that. It's become such an epidemic now on YouTube, and it's really unfortunate because YouTube says that they know about it and are doing their best to combat it. But even with the most harsh and extreme settings on YouTube, I still have not been able to filter the bots. And I know it's super inconvenient for you guys to constantly get an update or an email that says that I've messaged you via a comment, but I spend at least an hour of a day of my time deleting those comments in the morning and night, and there's not much else I can do to combat it by that. So you guys can really help me out and the rest of the YouTube community, my channel, any other channel. If you see those bot comments, just report them, because YouTube will block that account. And even though they keep popping up, you've helped us in eradicating them, at least for the meantime. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name AllFires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.